Hello and welcome back to the Beauty Professor. I'm Miss G. I'm an artist for Seint Makeup, and this is part one where I teach you how to highlight and contour with Seint Makeup. I am going to be working from the beautiful tinsel palette that holds 27 tins. It's a limited edition available. They released this during the holidays. This is my makeup bag. This holds everything I need to get ready. I have my foundation, concealer, my contour, my bronzer and a highlighter, lip and cheeks, illuminators. I have lip scrub, lip balm, perfume. I'm going to put some on right now because it smells so good. That's number 3. I love number 3. And then I have some eyeshadows here on the bottom. We, if you can't guess it, are going to do a holiday look with Seint Makeup. And I'm going to begin by teaching you how to use your first 3 shades. This first one's a little darker. This is our main shade. This shade is meant to go in and even out our skin tone. The next shade, think of it as your concealer. This is going to go in and brighten up the center of your face. And this third shade is our contour. This chisels out our cheekbones, disguises jowls, can make your face look thinner, can make your nose look thinner, can make a wide forehead look narrower. So I'm going to teach you how to do all that. And this look is going to feature a beautiful, I'm going to do a cool look. I am warm tone, as you can see, but I'm going to teach you how you can use cool tones on warm skin, warm hair, warm eyes. And if you're a cool tone, then you are just going to love this look. So this is going to be a Christmas look. We're going to do some reds, and we are going to do some greens, and we're going to try out this beautiful shadow called ballet slippers. So let's get going. So the first thing I do is I already cleansed my face and I applied Embryolisse. I love this because it's not only a moisturizer that's silicone free, it is also a primer that is silicone free, and it is essential that you only use primers that are silicone free underneath your cream makeup, because silicone and cream just don't mix and you're not gonna like your makeup. So there's a few in my beauty classroom on Facebook that I list that you can use, but I love this one for mature skin. It's fabulous. I've not had any problems with it. I've used it for over a month. It's fantastic. You can get this on Amazon. I will list the link in the comments. So our first step is we are going to apply our main highlight. So our makeup is cream makeup, which is amazing for mature skin because cream makeup is a solid. It is not a liquid. Liquids move. They're liquid. They find fine lines and wrinkles. They find texture, and they settle into those areas throughout the day, and then they enhance your wrinkles, fine lines, and texture. Where cream makeup is a solid, and our cream makeup only has 12 ingredients. It's clean. The longer you wear it, the healthier skin becomes because it is clean makeup. The foundation I used to use had over 40 ingredients, and I can tell over the time that I've worn this, about 6 months now, that my skin just keeps getting healthier and healthier. So I absolutely love it. I'm 52, and it's amazing on mature skin. So let's dive right in. This is the 3D brush. This is the brush that I'm going to be working with. It has a wider end on the bottom. It's dual-ended, and it has a tapered end at the top. It is essential with your first purchase to purchase a brush. These brushes are made for cream makeup. They are super dense, so they are going to pick up, they are going to blend your makeup where other brushes just aren't made for it. They're not this dense. And they also fit into the tins nice and perfect. So I'm going to begin with our first highlight shade. My shade is called Aura. Yours might be called something different. And I'm just going to place this on the bottom half of my face where I want coverage. And I'm going for medium coverage today. The 3D brush offers medium coverage. It's not about how much makeup you put on. It's about choosing the correct brush for your skin. So if you want more coverage, you would use a different brush. If you want lighter coverage, you would use a different brush. So I like the 3D brush. It's right in between. And it gives me the perfect amount of coverage for day-to-day wear. Perfect for the office, perfect for going to work, perfect for going out in the evening if you want. And now I'm just placing it across my forehead. So I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna blend this in. So it's just a pushing in motion. So I am going to push this in, I'm gonna get closer, and I'm just pushing it into the skin. Now you may have seen women applying this in dots on their face. It's all over social media, or they might be just applying large amounts with their finger. You can totally do that. I prefer to work with a brush. It gives you the best, it just gives you a more professional look, and it ensures that you have even coverage. All right, so I just want some in here. So as you're applying it, you're just dabbing in and moving along. I'm not going underneath my eyes. I'm not going underneath my cheekbone because I'm going to use a different highlight, and I'm going to use contour there. And our brightening highlight has coverage, and our contour has coverage in it too. So this is nice because when you do it right, you have just one layer of makeup if you would like that. Using less makeup as we mature and letting our own skin shine through helps to give a more youthful appearance. Cream makeup, a little bit goes a long way. So I'm just going to go back in and I'm just going to blend this where I wanted coverage. Now, where you place it might be completely different. You might want coverage all over and then go back over with everything else, and that's absolutely fine. There's no right or wrong way to apply cream makeup, and it's very easy to correct if you have made a mistake. So I'm going to put a little bit more right here, and if you need more, you just put on a little bit more. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into our brightening shade. So think of this as your concealer. So you need to think of your face as having an upside down triangle right here. This is the area we are going to brighten up to start giving dimension to our face, to enhance our beauty, and to help us look younger. So I am 52, like I said. I am here to teach you how to use makeup in strategic areas and give you tips and tricks along the way to help yourself look younger. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to flip my 3D brush around, and I'm going to go in with this end. So I'm going to gently go into it because it is soft. You don't want to grab, pound into it. You just want to pick up a little bit. And this is going to go between the eyebrows, down at the top of my nose, down the divot of my lip. I have some red under my nose. I'm going to cover that. And on the top of my chin, I am going to put some right in here, under the eye, to brighten up this area. Now, under the eye, this is the area that starts to, it does all kinds of things as we age. We get more wrinkles, we get more texture, we start to get dense here, we can get discoloration. So if we put a lot of brightening highlight there, or if you're using concealer, all you're doing really is drawing more attention to that area. So underneath this area, we want to use the least amount possible underneath the eye that we can get away with. That's why I always suggest to color correct first with Demi. So I did that before this video. I do videos just exclusively on Demi to teach how to use it because it's amazing. I color corrected under my eyes. So I'm only going to use, and I'm just going to use my finger to apply this. And I only am going to use just a smidge and a little bit right here. This is far different than we are used to. Do you remember seeing girls putting their concealer down into triangles? Well, that's for young ladies. They really don't even need to do that. So we're just putting the smallest amount there. And I am going to blend this out, and then I'm going to teach you how to apply it to give yourself a facelift. So I'm going to switch my brush over, and I'm just going to start balancing into this brightening highlight and blending it. And it goes really fast. It's really smooth. It blends like butter. And then I'm going to take this up into the center of my forehead. Nothing to it. And then under the eye, I'm just going to pounce this in. So there's none of this movement with applying cream makeup. So there's a slight learning curve here. Because it's cream, we're not working with liquid. So there's just a little learning curve. I am going to dip back into my brightening shade and put a little bit on top of my eyelids. A little bit up here to get my eyes ready for eyeshadow. And then under the eye, I'm just pressing this in, just bouncing it in. So it's real gentle. I'm just pushing it in. And that is all there is to it. So by not putting all that attention, all that product on underneath the eye, it's not bringing attention to it. So we just want to cover up, you know, the discoloration there and then move on. But you can, and I love doing this, use the end of my detail brush. I'm going to go into my brightening shade and I'm going to apply this right here for an eye lift. And I do this after I clean up my eyeshadow. After I do my eyeshadow, I go back and clean up, and that's when I usually do brighten this up. I'm going to show you right now the placement for that. So placing some brightening highlight right here in our temple and up the sides gives us this eye lift. Because it is a brighter color, it's going to attract the eye up, and then it gives the illusion that our eyes are lifted. This is a great end to blend to around the eyelids and really get under here. This is the detail brush. I'm going to be using this next for contouring. All right, there we have it. So what I really like to do now is, because we do not want to use powders as we age, because powder is drying and it settles into fine lines and wrinkles and it enhances them. So as we mature, we want to shy away from as much powder as we can. If you have oily skin, you certainly can use it on oily skin. If you don't like shine, place it there, but keep it away from areas that have a lot of texture and wrinkles and fine lines, because we don't want to enhance that. So instead of using powder, I am going to use setting spray right now to set my makeup and to get it pushed into my skin instead of using powder. This is the Perfector sponge. It comes in this darling can. Seint makes it. I love it because it's really inexpensive compared to other brands, and it's super soft. I love it. You want a soft, spongy sponge. You can store this in your purse. It looks cute on your vanity, and then after you get a new one, then you have these cute little cans to store things on. I like to keep Q-tips in one. Jewelry, if you're going on vacation, you can put jewelry in here. It's a nice little can. And then for Christmas, they have this cute edition that can be hung on the tree or given as a gift. So this is the sponge. I've already ran it under water, squeezed it a few times, got it to plump up, and then I dried it as much as I could in an absorbent towel. Now it is ready to go. It's just damp. I am going to use Seint's setting spray, which is marvelous. It has fantastic ingredients in here for our skin to help moisturize the skin, and it sets our makeup at the same time. So I'm going to spray it on my sponge, and I never skip this step because this is going to set my makeup, it's going to press it in my skin, and it's going to pick up any makeup that I might have been heavy-handed with. And in the beginning, most people, even I, was, you know, you're learning the amount that you need. So you tend to apply too much when you're learning. So it takes like 5 or 6 times to get the hang of it. And I am just pushing this in. And if you, it's just like a once over, and you can see the shine that it's starting to create on my forehead. The glow, that glow is what we want to have. I'm going to do on top of my eyelids. I really like to work it underneath my eye, pressing it in. So now my makeup is set. It's pressed into the skin, and my skin is shining through the cream makeup, but I still have coverage. Now, if you picked up too much, maybe I picked up a little bit too much, just put your finger back in your makeup and fix that. It's not a big deal. And then move on. So, Seint setting spray, and it smells delicious, but the fragrance doesn't last. You can smell it around a minute, then disappears. It smells like a pina colada. I love it. And the perfecting sponge, I never skip this step. And it's going to give you the best skin-like finish. Okay? Then after this, we can go in and contour. The contour shade is going to be the darker of the 3. Now these first 3 shades, I color match for you for free. And this ensures that you get the best choice for your skin tone. We do offer collections where you can choose your own skin level if you don't want a color match, but why not get a color match? It's absolutely free, and I'm not a pushy salesman. I'll give you your color match and away I go. I will help you all the way though if you want. So I'm here if you need me. So I would color match you with these first 3 shades. This contour is what we're going to apply next. I like to use the detail brush because it has this great end for getting into the cheek area, applying it to the forehead. But if you just have one brush, you can certainly use this end to apply your contour. So our contour is a little bit more dry. My shade is called Olive. And I'm just going to go in with this end. I'm going to wiggle in and get it on my brush. And I'm going to begin contouring my wide forehead. Now, I have a wide forehead, so I am going to want to put some contour on the sides, and I'm going to shorten the length of my forehead. So the center of attention is now centered in this area that I have brightened. If you have an oval shaped face, you're just going to place your contour right here. But if the rest of us, and if you want to make your face, your forehead look less wide, I just think of it as a rainbow. Just go around in this rainbow area, keep it out of this area. We want to keep our temples bright always. And there's no right or wrong. You just place it on here and we will blend this out at the end. So it's just like a rainbow. But the thing is to keep this center area bright above those eyebrows. So you can see where I've kept this bright. Okay, so that was easy. So this just casted a shadow down the sides here, up along here, and it brought the attention, brings the attention right to the center of my forehead, which is going to give my face shape just a little bit more definition, and it's going to put the center attention right to the middle of my face. Okay, let's do the cheekbones. This is one of my favorite places. So this, on me, you can see that shadow. If you can't see it, just take your finger and go underneath your cheekbone, and we are going to place the contour from the top of our ear, right here, right under our cheekbone. Now, if you want to even lift your cheekbone more, you can place it just a little bit higher. So if I run my finger here, I'm going to want to place it there. And you can just see when I did that with my finger, how it lifted the cheekbone. You see that? We do not want to bring this down. Watch this, because watch how it drags my face down. I'm just using my finger and using, my face is reactive. So when I touch it, blood comes. So that now is making my face look hollow there, which isn't a good look on a mature face. So we want to keep our contour up high, ended at the corner of our eye. So it's right in this area. So let's do that. So I'm just going to go right under here, just pushing it on, right underneath my cheekbone. I'm making a line, and I'm ending it right there at the corner of my eye. Nothing to it, super easy. Keeping this area here bright. That's all there is to it. I'm gonna go back in and get some more. So so you look at this side, here's this side. So you can see where I've lifted my face and I've lifted that eye, so you can see that youth that it brought to this area when you compare it to this side. It's crazy. So we're gonna go right here to the corner of the eye. So it's right in here. If you haven't been contouring, it is a great skill to learn. It is a mature lady's best friend. To a point. You can probably stop contouring, you know, the more mature you are, like 65 maybe. It just depends on your face shape and how much your face has dropped. But the cheeks are always good to put a contour on. Okay, so that's it. We just contoured our cheeks. Now we can do our jawline. And again, watch this as I do it. Watch this side compared to this side, and watch the magic happen right in front of your face while I'm applying this. So I'm gonna go in to my contour, and I'm just wiggling in and picking it up. And I am going to chisel out a very pretty, nice square jawline. This is going to thin out my face. Okay, so you can see how that already happened right there. And I'm just taking it right on the bone of the jawline. Easy, easy, you can see. So it's sort of like a 90 degree angle right there. Now, if you have a jowl right here, you can put a little bit more and go up a little bit higher. So we can go just a little bit higher right there. Okay, now I'm gonna turn my head and look. Look at this side, how it just lifted it up. And then look at this side. I love it. It makes me so excited. And when women send me their pictures after they've done it, it just makes me so happy because they're so happy. So I'm just going right on this bone. And straight down the bone. And I'm making this area pop out, and this area is being disguised. And if you have jowl, go up a little bit higher where the jowl is. All right, there our jawline is contoured. Let's put a little bit underneath here to disguise some of this loose skin that we get here. And there we have it, a contoured jawline. Brought it up, took off some weight off my face. If you have a wide chin, you can take this down the sides of your chin. If you feel like your chin is too long, you can put this on the bottom of your chin. I'm just gonna leave my chin alone. I like it the way it is. And that's all there is to it. Now, we're gonna contour our nose. And this is really fun because we can completely change how our nose looks. And I'm just going to do a basic contour today, but I'm going to do some more in detail contours just nose contours in the future, but we're just gonna do a basic one, and you're gonna love it. Okay, this is very important. You do not want to use too much product on your nose because we don't want to be left with a muddy nose. You can use your pinky to do this. I love using a more small brush so I can really go in and just really put it where I want. This is the multitasking brush. I use this for my lips. I use this in for my eyes, and it's great for doing a nose contour. I think that's why it's called the multitasking brush, because it has so many jobs. So I'm going to go in and pick this up on the end of my brush. And what I like to do is pretend that my eyebrow is growing down the side of my nose to give me a guide there. So it's just going to go down the side. The closer these two lines are, the more narrow you can make your nose. So you don't want to follow the nose line. You want to create a different line. So you're going to go straight down the nose. And watch how I do this. So I'm just going to go right here, and I'm just pulling this straight down. Simple. Let's do the other side. And I'm just going straight down. Now you can see how that has narrowed the width of my nose. I like to disguise a little bit of my nostrils, so I'm going to place a little bit out here to bring that in. And I'm going to put a little bit at the end of the nose just to lift it. And that's all I'm going to do. This is just a basic contour. All right. So that's it. Just 2 lines down. If you learn anything, you can just do this. 2 lines down, straight down, and a little bit on the nostrils if you want to disguise some width out here. All right, and then we're gonna go blend this all out. And we have one last thing to do with our bottom lip. So as we mature, our bottom lip can start to shrink in. We get less volume here. So if we place a little contour, and it's gonna go like in a smiley face right here, right underneath our lip, this gives the illusion that our bottom lip has dropped, that it's being pulled forward, that it's plumper. So while I'm here, I'm just gonna blend this in. Again, I love the multitasking brush because it's so precise. And I like to have smaller brushes when I'm working on smaller areas of my face. All right, that's it. So let's go blend this out. Super exciting. So I'm going back in with my detail brush. Let's start on the forehead. So we want to make sure that this area right here stays bright. So we don't want to pull any of this contour into our forehead. So it's all getting pushed in like this and a little flick. So I'm going to push it and pull it back into my hairline. Just pushing it into the skin. Just pushing and pulling it into the skin. You want to bring it up into your hairline. If you have bangs, you don't have to do this. You can skip contouring your forehead altogether if you have bangs. But if you don't and you want to try this, this is the way I like to do it. Pull my bangs back down. And I've blended it. We're keeping it out of this area because we want that eye lift there. Just keeping it like this. And then I'm just going to take my brush and just wiggle it along that bright line. All right, so that is blended in. Let's blend in this jawline. So again, we want this area to stay bright. So we don't want to take the contour up. We want to dab in, push in, pull it down. So it's just being pushed in, pulled down. And it blends out gradually down your neck. So there is not a harsh line here when you look from the side. So make sure you blend it in because you don't want a harsh line there. Just go down the sides of the neck. And then I just pull it down and blend it into my neck. And that helps to thin out the neck. I keep this area bright, but I pull it down. My skin's very reactive, so when I touch it, it turns red. And yours probably will too, because we're doing this motion. We're pushing blood. We're getting the blood moving. With liquid makeup, you're just pushing it on, and there's none of this pushing motion into the skin. The cheek contour, I am not going to touch it. I'm going to just keep it right here because I want it to be here. The nose contour, I'm going to flip the detail brush over, and I'm just going to blend this down the sides of my nose. I'm being very careful not to get it into the under eye area. I'm going to blend the nostril. I'm just blending this down. The sides of the nose. And if you didn't put too much on, then you don't have a big muddy nose. So less is definitely more when you've contoured your nose. I see women putting way too much on and then walking around with a muddy looking nose. No, don't do that. It's just the slightest amount. All right, now I like to go back and go in and just enhance this. So I'm going to turn my brush over and use this side, and I'm going to go in to this main highlight shade, and I'm just going to work that in to the contour and just blend this. I think of this like as erasing. So if you made a mistake or if you pulled it down, you can totally do this. Now with liquid, and then you have a powder contour, you can't do this because that creates that cakey appearance. But with cream, we can go back in and correct our mistakes. So if you brought it up too high here, you can fix this. Maybe you brought it up too high, you can fix it there. So it's very forgiving. Everything's easy to blend and fix. So maybe we want to sharpen this up a little bit underneath here. Really give us a nice tight contour under the cheek here. And do it over here. Make the line perfect. We don't have to worry about this harsh line because our blush and bronzer is going to go in there and it's all going to blend together. Now the nose. Okay, so the blood left my nose. I am going to go in and I'm just going to brighten up the center just to enhance this contour. Just put a little bit more here. I like to take it back up into here. It's just the smallest amount. And then I like to go into the main shade here and just go down the side. Just the smallest amount. And there we have it. Now you can go back in. If you feel like you've placed too much on, you can use your perfecting sponge and just go in and pick it up. Just push it in like this. Let's do a little bit on my neck, get this really blended here. And you can see how it's picking it up, pushing it in and picking it up. Okay. Now I'm going to teach you one more trick before we move on to the rest of it. So as we age, our face starts to fall forward and we get these marionette lines. And what they do is they cast a shadow here. Well, with our highlight and a smaller brush, you can go in and fill this in slightly with a brightening shade, and voila, look how that really helped. And then just blend it in. It just really helps. You can do this with any sort of dents you have too. I'm just gonna place a little bit there. See how that helped? If you have 11s, you could fill it in. I know mine aren't too bad, so you're not gonna be able to tell, but you could put a little brightening right there. and that will help get rid of those shadows and help disguise it. So let's put a little bit down here. And that is a great little pro tip from me on how to get rid of those marionette lines or help disguise them, make them softer. You can do that with any sort of indented wrinkle. You just put a little of your brightening shade right there. Pretty cool. Okay, so this is the end of highlighting and contour. Next, we are going to bronze and illuminate and put on our lip and cheek. I am going to be doing a cool look, and you can see that I'm warmed. I'm a warm skin tone. I have reddish brownish hair, like auburn, green eyes, so I'm definitely warm. But I'm going to be using cool lipstick today, and I'm going to do a cool eyeshadow look. So I've said before, it's all about balance. You can absolutely do this, but it's about balancing your warm with your cool. So if you are cool tone, you don't have to worry about this. But if you are warm skin like I am, warm tones, warm undertones, you are going to want to bronze. So the bronzing is going to add that warmth, and it's going to help us pull off that cool look. So I'm going to bronze today. This is Bella bronzer. Both of these are. I put two in there because it's nice for my brush to go in and pick it up. This is the bronze and blush brush. I'm going to be working with this. So I'm picking this up, and then I like to work with glow. I always add this illuminator on my brush for just the smallest bit of enhanced glow to my skin, which helps us look younger. So I'm just going to pounce this in. We're not working with a powder. I'm just going to pounce this in. And what I love about cream bronzer is it's not a powder. Powders dry out our skin and emphasize fine lines and wrinkles. This bronzer is absolutely amazing. It's my favorite bronzer I've ever used in my entire life. It's probably the best on the planet in my opinion. And I'm just placing it where the sun would naturally hit my face. So it's going to hit the high points. I'm going to add a little bit to the cheek, a little bit right here, a little bit to the top of the nose, a little bit on top of the chin. It's going to hit me here slightly, and then I'm just going to, whatever's left on the brush, I'm just going to take it down my neck to blend this in, just to make sure that my neck and my chest all are the same shade. We don't want two different shades. It looks funny. So I'm gonna bronze my chin. Now I'm just gonna go back in. It's not powder, so we're not doing this. We don't wanna move our cream makeup. So it's a pouncing in motion, and I really enjoy this because the brush is so fluffy. It's so wonderful. It feels so glamorous, and it is made for bronzing because it is such a wide, fluffy brush. I'm just pushing it into my skin, and you can start to see that glow that it is putting across my forehead. And I'm just pouncing it in and pushing it in. And if you want more bronze, more of a bronze look, pick up more and do this again. It is winter here in Ohio, and I just want some warmth to help balance out this cool lip that I'm going to be wearing I'm going to be wearing a cool shade on my lip, cool shade on my cheeks, and then a cool eye. So this Bella warms up the skin and helps balance out that coolness. Let's go in and just get a little bit more for my forehead. And you can always go back and add more at the end, which I kind of like to do after I see my look. Okay, so that I'm going to stop with that for now. And we're going to move on to our lip and cheek. So I'm working with this beautiful shade. It's called, let me pop it out. It's cool red. It is called Sangria. It's very beautiful. You can get this in the Confection collection right now and bundle and save and get some really pretty shades. And Sangria comes in it. So this is what Sangria looks like. Very cool shade. It's a satin, so it's matte, and it has a lot of pigment in it. So when I'm working with it on my cheek, I'm only gonna place the smallest amount. And I like to use my finger for this because it is so pigmented. Now I am doing a very high lift cheek application, and you're always gonna see me do this because I want to give the illusion that my cheek is lifted to make me look younger. So here's our contour. I'm going to keep the blush right where that contour is. I'm not pulling this down in here, and I'm right back here in the hairline. Now, if you are putting your blush here and you're a mature lady, you're pulling your face down. If you have a very thin face, you can get away with it. If you're young, you can do whatever you want. But we're going for the maximum lift. We're going to start off with this amount. I'm going to keep it right here and keep it out of this area of the temple that we want to keep bright for that eye lift. So I'm going to pounce in with the other end of my bronzing blush brush, and I'm just going to push this in. And push it in and keeping it up high and to the back here. Now this placement is amazing. If you haven't tried it, do it before and after. Do your makeup like on the way you normally do on one side, and then do it on the other side. And look at the difference. Look at the pull it gives going up. And then let me know how you like it. It takes some getting used to, because if you've been putting it down here, you're used to putting your blush down here. I put color there, I put bronzer there, so it's not like there's not color there. But when I turn, we're always moving, so when I turn to the side, it's really lifting that side of the cheek. So let's look. We have this side now, this side. See how this is just like there, and this side is pulled up. Now our cream blush tends to die down, so you're going to want to put it on, and then when you're done with your makeup, check to see if you need any more. So let's do the other side. So I'm taking my finger in, and I'm just going to put 1 dot, 2, and then 1 back here, and then I'm going to push it in. Sangria is beautiful. It's a beautiful shade for the holidays. It is a cool red. Cool reds make your teeth look white. And I love using red on my cheeks because it is such a natural looking flush. Because when we naturally blush or exercise, we bring blood to the surface of our skin, and it is red. And this looks very natural. So I'm keeping this back here. I'm swooping it around, letting that eye area stay white or brighter. I mean, it's pretty white. We're all different skin tones, so. All right, so let's look at that. And we can always go back in and add more. Now I like to put color on my forehead, because if we're naturally blushing, we're gonna have some color everywhere on our face, just not on our cheeks. So this helps to bring youth to your face. So I put it at the arch of my eyebrow, and then I just push it in and pull it back. You can see how that warmed up my face. And I absolutely love it. It's beautiful. And we can check it at the end to see if I need more, if I need less. I like a lot of color on my cheeks. And don't worry about this harsh line, because our illuminator is going to go there. Such a pretty shade. So this one's called Scarlet. It's under the Satin tab on Seint. It's a beautiful shade if you want to pick that up for the holidays. You have until December 12th, I believe, for guaranteed shipping to get it before Christmas if you want to give it as a gift. It's beautiful. So there we have it. Next, I am going to illuminate. So I am going to use, it's about warmth. Since I am going to be working with cooler shades, I'm going to equal out the warmth. So I'm choosing a warm toned illuminator. Now, if you are cool toned, you would use pearl or confetti or rose gold, or angel, one of the cooler tones. But if you're warm toned, working with cooler shades, you want to choose honey, and this is the new one that's released right now called confetti. If you are warm skinned, warm toned, under warm toned girl like me, grab it while you can because it's only available right now. It's a limited edition. So I am going to use this with my detail brush. I love using this N, and I'm going to apply this to the top of my cheek to give more lift. This is beautiful. Let me show you on the finger. It is very subtle. Let's just swatch on my arm. It's not a powder. It's completely different than a powder. So you can barely see it, but it gives a little bit of glow. And glow on the skin helps us make our skin look younger because that dew back. So you can pick up a healthy amount on the end of your brush, and let's just start applying it. It's going to be on the top of this cheekbone. See how it's right there? And I just put it where that blush line is. Okay, let's do it over here. And it totally gets rid of that blush line, and it's putting the prettiest glow right here. It's hard to see with my lighting on this side, but you can see it on this side. I also like to put some of it right on the apples of my cheeks to bring that dew to the skin. You see how pretty that is? Just makes your skin come to life. You can put this, wash it across your forehead. I like to put it above my eyebrows. I like to put it down the bridge of my nose. I leave the end of my nose alone, but you can put it on the tip if you want it on the end of your nose. You put it on the end of your chin. You can put it on a Cupid's bow, slightly right here. But it is absolutely beautiful. I never skip this step. This is like the cherry on the top for me. This just makes your makeup beautiful, makes your skin glow. I absolutely love our Illuminator, and this one's called Confetti. Grab it while you can because you're gonna want it, and you're gonna be sad you couldn't get it. It's different than honey. Honey's has less illumination, I guess I should say. Confetti has a little bit more. It's very beautiful. So you can see now I have that beautiful glow on my skin. It's not over the top like a powder illuminator would do. We call those highlights. A powder highlight has got a lot of that mica in it. It's a powder, so it's going to emphasize fine lines and wrinkles and texture, where cream illuminator just gives this beautiful glow to the skin. You don't want to put this underneath your eyes or around your crow's feet, but on top of the cheeks, right where I placed it, down the nose, just gives that extra pop of life, and it's so pretty. Okay, next we got to do the lips. I already contoured underneath my lip, but I'm going to use our suede lip liner. I absolutely love it. It's very waxy. I don't use it for the color because we don't want a very bold line on our lips as we mature, because that just makes our lips look older. But this, I just want to put it on my lips to keep the lipstick in place. Our mattes do not run, but I'm just ensuring. And I'm just doing that. Very easy. I'm staying in the line. And this is just to ensure that I don't get running into fine lines and wrinkles later. All right, so that's my lips line. This is the multitasking brush. I use the small end, and I'm gonna flip it over to apply that beautiful sangria to my lips. So there, it is very, very concentrated. So I'm just gonna put it on in dots and then work it in to see the amount of color I want. So let's start with this amount. You can use your finger. I like to use a brush. I like precise application. When I'm wearing red lipstick, I don't want there to be a mistake. Look how pretty. Okay, there we have it. That is a beautiful red. Now you can see how a cool red really makes your teeth look white because it has that purple blue undertone. It reflects it on teeth, and we know through color science blue and purple neutralize yellow. So that's why a cool red can really make your teeth look white. And you can see it's doing the same thing for the irises. It's something about reflecting. You can put this on as light or as dark as you want. It's very creamy. It's not one of those dry mattes. It's not sticky. It's creamy. There's no scent or flavors in our lips and cheeks except for the fruit collection. But there we have it. Now I can go back and look to see, is it balanced out? Do I need more lip and cheek? I'm all fidgety today. Do I need anything more? So let's just put a little bit more on my cheek. I can actually use what was on the end of my brush here and bounce this in. Yes, I needed a little bit more. And it dies down, and it's partly due to when we're doing this motion, we're working the blood to the surface of our skin. But you need a little bit more on your skin with cream blush than you do using a powder. And it'll take you a little bit. There's a slight learning curve on learning how much to apply. You can always add more if you need it. And I'm happy with my bronzer. I feel like it's very even, and I don't feel like the cool tone of the lip is too cool for me. Since I bronzed, it warmed me up. So that is it. That was really fast. That was bronzing, illuminating. I bronzed with Bella. I illuminated with Confetti. I used the lip and cheek in Scarlet. And that's it. That's a wrap for this part. Bronzing, illuminating, lip and cheek. If you applied cream makeup to your eyelids, by now they are creasing. So just go ahead and push that in, blend it out, and now we are going to prime our eye. So I'm going to use the smudge brush. I'm going to use the large end, and it's very important that you follow this next step. You want to use a setting powder. This is our vanilla dust. I am going to go in, and I am going to apply this all over the lid, and this is going to set the makeup. It's going to ensure that this makeup does not crease. It's going to last throughout the day. I do not use a primer, but if you have oily eyelids, you can use a primer. Just make sure that it's silicone free. But I do not have any problems with my makeup creasing at all using vanilla dust. Wherever you put vanilla dust, your makeup will be set. So I'm just placing this over the entire lid, making sure that it's on there, and I'm just pushing it in. Vanilla dust is translucent, so you can see through it. It does blur a little bit. It's finely milled, and I love it. It does the job. All right, so now my eyelids are primed. My makeup's not going to crease. My eyeshadow is going to blend nicely, and it's going to stay put through the rest of the day. All right, so we are going to be working with some of these gorgeous greens and silvers. I'm going to swatch the greens that we have with Seint Makeup. I'm not going to wear all of them, but I did pull them so you can see them. They're gorgeous. And then I pulled silver shimmer and a silver glitter, and you're going to get to see them. So this is going to be very pretty when we are finished. So on a mature eye, we want to use matte shades on our eyelids. If you're using shimmer up here or in the crease, you are bringing attention to fine lines and wrinkles. So we want to make sure that everything above the crease is not a shimmer. Very important. So I'm going to use Cupcake. You know, Cupcake is my favorite. I use it in every tutorial. If you don't have Cupcake, you need it. Every compact needs it. It is the most perfect brow bone shade on the planet. I've tried them all. It's super creamy. It's super pigmented. And I have it on this side, but not on this side. And you can see the difference, how that pop of this color lifts the brow bone. So I'm just going to go in with my smudge brush and I'm going to apply it on the brow bone. Just pushing it on. And this pulls the whole eyelid up. It starts this contouring effect. Just like we contour our cheeks, our nose, we are contouring our eyes with shadow. It's the same idea, but we're just using color, bright shades, dark shades, shimmer, all in the right spots to make our eyes look brighter, to make them look more green, more blue, more brown, more lifted and young. So that is my number one tip. Grab Cupcake. It's the perfect brow bone shade. I've gone through 2 of these already, and it just stays in my everyday compact all the time because it is just the one I use every day. It's a go-to. So next I am going to start contouring the eye. Now as we age, our eyebrow, this area here starts to sink down. Unless you get an eyebrow lift, it's going to sink down. And it sucks. It does. But there's things we can do to help, like I said, contour and make it lifted. One of them is working with mattes. You want to make sure you're using a matte on this brow bone and for your transition shade, and you want to use a transition shade. So a transition shade is the next shade. It's the next shade between the brow bone color and your darker shade. And this one is very important. I'm going to use the eyeshadow brush. I'm going to use this end. I'm going to be doing a cool green eye. And I've been talking about balancing out your tones, where if you are warm tone and you want to wear cools, you need to add some warmth in there to balance it out. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm using this. Let's see if I can swatch it. This is the perfect transition shade. It's a little bit warmer, so I'm going to use this as my transition shade. It's called Chai, and it's perfect. This is another must-have in your compact. It's a perfect transition shade, and it can go with many different colors like greens and browns and your neutrals. So I'm going to be working with that. That is my next shade. So I'm going in with the eyeshadow brush, this fluffy end, and I'm just going to dip in. I like to work in a circle. These powders are so soft. You don't want to go in them hard. And then you're going to knock it off. See how soft it was? And I was so gentle. You want to knock that off so you don't get any fallout down here. This is going to go underneath Cupcake. We don't want to cover up Cupcake. We want to leave this brow bone highlighted, but we want to see this because this is going to start to create that depth, which is going to help lift the eye. So I'm just going back and forth in a windshield wiping motion. So it's going to the end of the eyebrow, to the end of the eyebrow, just pretty much like a straight line. Nothing to it. Now when I look, I want to be able to see that color. So I need a little bit more. I need to go up on my arch a little bit. And now I can see it. So when we compare this to this eye, you can now see the difference. This one's just brightened up, but here I'm creating this contour to the eye socket, which is going to lift the eye. Now, you do not want your eyeshadows to go outside of this line. So if you take your eyeshadow brush, put it on the end of your nose, and then take it on an angle to the end of your eyebrow. Your eyebrow should end right there, like mine does. If yours doesn't, you need to draw them in to that point. But your eyeshadow does not come out of that area. If it does, you're pulling your eyelids down. And we want to keep everything on this upward slant to lift the face. So you want to make sure you're doing that. I'm going to apply one more coat. These eyeshadows look like velvet on the eyelids. They are so stinking pretty on. So this is Chai. It's a neutral warm. So it's going to, I'm wearing a cool lip, cool cheek. I bronzed, so I'm warming it up so I can pull off these cools. Now, if you are a cool tone, you're just gonna love this look because you don't have to worry about warming it up. You're just gonna do exactly this, and it's gonna be beautiful because it's already balanced out for you. It's just adding a little warmth to the look. So I'm going back and forth. So this way, you can wear any shade that you like. You just need to know how to balance out the cools and the warmths. Going back and forth, get a little bit more. Then I'm going to look in my 10 times magnification mirror here just to check on my work, see if I need any more. I want to see Cupcake up there, but I also want to see that transition shade with my eye open, and I do. It's very slight, but that's what the job of a transition shade is. It's a very light color. It's just to help start to build that contrast. Watch these beautiful greens that Seint has. So let's start with number 33. This one is my favorite. I absolutely love this shade. It is a warmer green. I'm not going to be wearing it today, although I wanted to. I'm going to keep this shade, this eye look cooler, but I still want to show it. It is beautiful. It is going to be available in a collection. I believe it's called Mistletoe, I think. And it is such a beautiful green. If you like that shade, it is so pretty. I love it. It is gorgeous. And I love this time of the year. It's like one of the only times of the year you can wear a green eye and a red lip and get away with it. But isn't that beautiful? So that's number 33. Let's move on to the next one. This one is called, this is a cooler shade. It's called Emerald City. It has a slight shimmer. It's cool. I am going to be wearing this one today. And you can see right next to number 33 how much cooler it is. It's a bluish green, sort of a teal. Very pretty color. And then our matte, the only matte shade they have, this one's called Ivy League. This is a matte green, the only matte green that they have. Very pretty shade. It's a neutral green running towards the cool side. Let's put it next to Emerald City. So you can see it darker. It's the darker of the three for sure. This is a great contour. We're going to use this today as the contour on this green holiday eye. And then they have this shimmer, and you can see the texture. So when you see texture like this, it's going to be glitter shimmer, like a glittery shimmer. It's not going to go on bright, but it has texture in it. This one's called Atlantic. And let me show you on the finger. I'm not going to be wearing this one today, but see how it has glimmer, it's iridescent. It doesn't go on like that, it goes on like this. It is very pretty too. I might put a little bit of that on today. We'll see how it goes. So that is the greens that Seint has. I'm also going to be working with, ta-da! This is called ballet slippers. No, glass slippers. I'm sorry, glass slippers. I like that better. Glass slippers. Super shimmery. Doesn't get much shimmerier than that. And is just pure silver shimmer. We are going to be working with that. Ho, ho, ho. Looks like Christmas on my arm. Very pretty. And then we might, I'm going to show you this because I don't know until I start doing it. We might use a little bit of unicorn for our highlight on our brow bone. Probably going to. This is unicorn. It's a white shimmer. Very pretty. I love unicorn for brow bone illumination. And then, ta-da! This is a glitter. This is called Shenandoah. I'm not going to swatch this because I didn't want to get it all over. Then it's going to be all over my face. But we are going to use a little bit of glitter in the corners of our eyes for this holiday eye look. So I'm really excited to do this. I'm going to put these back in my compact here. All right, so there's the lineup. Let's have some fun. Eyeshadow, to me, is fun. People get intimidated by it, but you don't have to be. If you follow me step by step, you can watch, you can get these shades and do it as I do it, and you can totally pull off any look that I do. I don't do very complicated eyeshadows. I just know where to place them. So then in the end, it looks complicated, but it's really not. Okay, so eyeshadow brush. We're going to use the small end, and I'm going to go into this one here. Let me grab it. Going into Ivy League. I'm just going to double check the name of that. Yes, Ivy League. And we're going to start building the contour of the eye. So that's going to go back into my compact. I'll hold it up here while I do it. So I'm using right here, Ivy League. So I'm going to use my 10 times magnification mirror to place this. So I'm going to be very mindful not to bring this shade out here. We want to keep it in tight, real tight. We want to keep dark shades all inside here, where the end of your eyelid ends. So I'm just going to, now remember we work on this slant. I'm just going to draw a slanted line. I just place it right here for guidance. Right here. And then it's just a line on a slant. I need to work with 2 fingers to hold my lid. So just a line on a slant, and I'm pulling it up. And then I am going to pull this down. So we just have a slant right now. That's pretty on its own, pretty cool. But I'm going to contour this eye. Now I'm going to take this. I like to use my fingers here. And then I'm just going into this crease. So on the side, it is a complete V. And then I'm going to darken that in so those 2 lines meet. And now I'm going to do a little bit of blending. I'm going to go back in one more time And then I'm going to put some depth right here. I'm just going to go around in a circle. This brush is made for that job. Look how pretty that is. See how it lifted my eye? I don't have the shadow outside. We will clean up and pull that up with some shadow. So if you do go outside that line, it's okay, we can clean it up. It's just makeup. Okay, let's do the other side. So I'm going back into Ivy League, pick it up with the end of my eyeshadow brush. I'm working on this slant, and I'm just gonna go pull it down. It's just, I'm going in a down stroke. Just like that. Very easy to do. And now I am going to create that depth into the crease. I'm going to take this line where I have it, and then it just continues into the crease. Like that, like that. And now I'm just going to blend. Our shadows do look so velvety when you blend them right. Now I'm going to check to make sure that each side is approximately the same ending and beginning, that the line is the same. All right, so that is what we have so far. It's very pretty. I love working with this eyeshadow cleaning tile. You take a brush in here and you can clean off the end in between shadows. It's amazing. So I'm going to do that right now because I'm going to switch shades. I'm going to be going into Emerald City. I'm going to pick up a little bit of this, and I'm going to put this right here. Just tapping this in. I'm going to put a little of this bluish green color right here. It has a slight shimmer in it, very slight. So if you have a mature eye, you can wear this one with no problem. Get some more. Just putting it on the lid like that. Pulling it over. All right, let's go in and clean this brush again. And then let's go pick up some of that Atlantic for the inner corner. Then we're gonna use a little pop of glimmer, shimmer, glimmery shimmer. Okay, let's go get some of this Atlantic. I'm gonna place this right here and go to the inside corner. Oh, it's very subtle. I don't know, probably can, it's very subtle. It's just putting like the slightest amount of glitter there. So if you don't want to use glitter, but you want a little shimmer, Atlantic is so pretty. It's very light. I don't know if you can even see it. You don't even have to do this step. Just let's skip this step. Well, I don't know. It is putting something there. It's putting a little color there. It's pretty. Very, very pretty. And those shades kind of melting together. Yeah, if you put on a few coats, it becomes more apparent. That is really pretty. Okay, so there's that green going on. Now we're gonna go in and put a little bit of silver shimmer on the center of our eyelid. I like to use my finger for this because we don't want that shimmer to fall, and I can get more payoff. So I like using my pinky because it is such a small area. I just pounce into this glass slipper, and it's gonna go right here where this dark area and that light area meet, right here. Keep the shimmer away from the brow bone. And it's really pretty. I've never used this one before. More of a gold. I like the warms on me, but I wanted to show all the shades for everyone. This is very beautiful. Looks really pretty on top of that dark green. It's almost like they blend together and they're so pretty. The silver takes on a little bit of the green cast. Very party-like, glamorous, very pretty. It's definitely a holiday eye. Alrighty. Okay, now let's highlight the brow bone, the inner corner, and then we can decide if we want to do the little bit of glitter, and I do because I have this sparkly headband on, and a little bit of glitter is just screams Christmas party. And then we're gonna go back and touch up my makeup on the lips and the cheeks and some gloss, and this looks gonna be done. Okay, so let's go back in. I need a clean brush to work with Unicorn because Unicorn is white. I don't want to have a dirty brush. And I just, darn it, I gouged my eyeshadow. So I'm going to go into Unicorn. I'm going to pick up, I'm going to use the blend brush. It's a demi brush. I'm going to use the small end. It's just going to go right underneath this brow bone, just a little teeny bit. And I'm going to tap it in with my finger just to highlight that area and bring some attention to this brow bone up here so it lifts the eye. And then it's going to go right here. We have this spot right here where there's no wrinkles. We can't make any motion there. We're going to brighten this up. So it's a very dark area. And if we brighten this up, it makes the eye brighter, makes your eyes look bigger. I'm just going to take it on in. I'm going to take the other end and then I'm going to blend this up and out. Ooh, that's so pretty. Okay, so right here on the brow bone, we don't want to get it into the texture, but right underneath the brow where the hairs end, we're going to highlight that, go back in, and then right in here, in this corner, and then I'm going to bring it up into Glass Slipper, and then use the blend side and blend this up. Very, very beautiful. This is what we have so far. It's very cool, glamorous green eye with a little bit of warmth, but it's mostly cool. Now we're gonna do a little bit of glitter, and this one is called Shenandoah. So when I work with glitter, I like to get my brush wet. So I use a little bit of setting spray, and then I like to use a very tiny end of a brush, and I just soak my brush. I'm going to go into Shenandoah. They have their glitters in a collection. You can get all, there's just 4. You can get all 4 and save money. I'm not sure exactly how much, but it's called the Silver Bells collection if you want to grab them. So I coated my brush, and then I want to decide where do I want to put this. I'm going to stick with the safety zone right here where we have no wrinkles. I'm just going to pat this on here and see how it looks. Okay, I don't know if you can see that, but that just really finished off this holiday look. I mean, it is beautiful. I could pack on a little bit more. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. And let's do the other side. So we can wear glitter as mature ladies. Just need to know where to put it. This is the perfect spot to put some glitter because we don't have any wrinkles right there. And it's fun. Glitter's fun. Express your personality a little bit with it. I'm gonna place a little bit up here too, just like dots of it all the way across. I'm a glitter girl. We're gonna glitterify this. Okie dokie. This would be so pretty with a party dress. Absolutely beautiful. So I'm not gonna touch them, I'm gonna let that dry. I don't know if you can see, but it is so glamorous, so beautiful. So now this is when I like to touch up my makeup. I am going to go back in and touch up my lip. I use this beautiful shade Scarlet. I am going to touch up, add a little bit more. I'm gonna put some gloss on top. Scarlet was a cool red, very pretty. Very pretty for the holidays. And let's put a little bit more on the cheek. So our blushes do die down. You just have to apply a little bit more. So I'm gonna add, oop, wrong side. Add a little bit more color here to balance it out with this darker eye. Really bring on this holiday look. So pretty, so Christmassy. Is Christmassy a word? Christmassy. Bring some up here. I'm ready to have a glass of champagne, some Christmas music, decorate the tree. I am in the mood now. All right, and let's add a little gloss to the lips. This is Derol. Seint makes a gloss, but I like a super gloss. And this is a lip plumper too. Derol. Not too crazy about the scent of it, but I do like the plumping effect and the shine. And then I'm gonna go back. Ooh, got that on the end of my tongue. Ooh, it was a little spicy. I'm gonna go back at the very end is when I like to powder. I'm gonna pick up a powder brush. Any brush will work, but this is the powder brush. I'm gonna go into Vanilla Dust. Look at these beautiful shades. And I'm gonna pick up Vanilla Dust on the end. Now, it's a powder, so we wanna be very selective with where we place it on our mature skin. We don't wanna put it on our 11s. We certainly don't wanna put it under our eyes, but you can put it in the corners of your nose. You can place this wherever you don't have wrinkles. If you want to set your makeup, so like say you want to set your makeup down here. We've already set it with setting spray, but maybe you don't like a lot of shine. You can certainly set down here. I usually don't. I just go right here where my glasses hit, right here, and I powder the very end of my nose. I do not like a shiny end of my nose. I know it's a trend right now to highlight the end of your nose, but I don't like to do it. I don't want to put any attraction there. So just right here, so my glasses don't fall down. Now you can put it wherever you want, but just be careful and know that it is going to emphasize fine lines and wrinkles where you have them. So be strategic with it. Place it where you do not have wrinkles. But wherever this goes, it is going to set your makeup all day long. Your makeup is not going to move. Maybe you like to wear glosses, but you don't want your hair to, sometimes it can stick. You can put a little here too, but it's gonna get rid of that sheen like we have there. See how it mattified it? It's still a pretty look, but I like the shine. So that's all personal preference. Okay, I am all done with this Christmas look. I will list all these beautiful shadows. Oh, I don't want to mess up my arm here. And I'll put a picture of this down below to show you all the greens. And this is a beautiful holiday look. And this is like the only time of the year where you can get away wearing greens and reds and not look Christmassy. Very, very pretty. Very glamorous. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas. And all that. Okay, if you would like a color match, down in the comments you can find that. The comments you'll find all the shades. You'll find links to my classroom on Facebook. You will find links to other places on social media where you can find me. And there will be a link for a color match right there too. I hope you enjoyed this. Give me some comments. Please like and subscribe. That would help me out so much. Or if this is on Facebook, just give me a thumbs up. A comment would be great. I am trying to get my business up and running. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.